It is Wednesday, my dudes, and tonight we talk to cosplayer, stunt performer, and all-around nerd BabsButcher. We're really excited to talk to her about fandom, how she's developing her cosplays, and what it's like to be training first to be a stunt performer. Much like this, because who the hell knows what's going on and what's going to hit us in the face. Outside of that, I'm sure there's just going to be some general nonsense that happens, so stay tuned. And hey, Matchu, cue that intro. I feel like that was better.
That was good. That was good.
That was better.
I liked it.
Yeah. All right. Good. It is, of course, Wednesday, and tonight is another night of Between Two Sentinels. I am Jshot. Jay's hot if you find yourself cosplaying as an adult on most days, like I do. And tonight, we got a very special guest, a little different, a little outside our normal realm. But, outside of our guests, I've got with me my favorite friend, Matchu Toy. What's up, man? How are you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm good. I'm good. Week's been a little hectic, but hanging in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like you rocking the glasses tonight. I like that.
Yeah. Like I was telling you before, all day, like my left eye has been bothering me. I don't know what ever since I woke up. So weird. I had to wear my glasses. Oh. Okay. Yeah, this definitely helps.
All right. Well, good. As long as it helps, and as long as you can see what is happening, because Lord knows that we will get lost in the chat and all the buttons that need to be pushed. So happy to have you here, and hopefully your eye feels better. So, what else is going on? Anything else? Feel like some toy news this week, but nothing crazy, right?
I haven't even been following any toy news. What's been going on? What's the rumblings?
Well, I mean, Black Series dropped a really exclusive figure of Luke Skywalker, and you'll never guess who he comes with. If I gave you 30 guesses, you'd never guess.
Is it Grogu?
How did you get that? How did you get that so fast? I told you, general silliness tonight. I just did a spit take. Let's go.
Yeah. Which turtles did you hit?
None. I just did it over here, but don't ask me to cut to that other camera. It's covered in water now.
Okay.
Anyway.
Good thing. See, like, it's a good thing I told you, take the microphone with you.
Yeah, you did. I moved the mic.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. Good. Good.
It all worked out. All right. Let's see what is going on in the chat tonight. Let's see who's here. Steve Morrow was early, way early, 7:32. I think we were doing our test run. Babs says, hey, she's also backstage. So, there's that. Bearded Builds is back. Thank goodness. We missed you last week, buddy. That's for sure. Jordan from Canada is here. Welcome, Jordan. Henrock is here. What is going on, Henrock? 796 Studios. Let's go. Thank you, Mario. Thank you. And thank you for filling the brand. Let's see who else we got. I think that's it. That's all that's signed off on the chat so far. So
wait.
What would I miss?
Jordan from Canada?
I did get Jordan from Canada. Yeah, cool. All right. Should we just jump right into it?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, BabsButcher. Hey, Babs. How's it going?
Hey. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, I'm doing well. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
That's it. Hey, thank you. It's that's for a special crowd, and then when you get it, you appreciate it, and when you don't get it, you just think I'm crazy. So
I mean, we're 90s kids, right?
Yeah, most of us, I think. I mean, I can't speak for the chat, but for sure, yeah. So definitely old enough to appreciate that. Definitely old enough to appreciate the Teenage Mutant Ninja. Hello, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers trailer that dropped just today. I'm sure we'll talk about. Did you miss that?
I told you. I've been.
Oh yeah, you've been busy today. You've been busy
running around everywhere.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you want to duck out for a second and watch it?
No. I'll watch it. I'll watch it after. You just got to remind me.
Cool. Yes, I will remind you to watch it after. Yeah. So Babs, I mean, I've been a fan of yours and following you for a while. We've got a mutual friend in our good friend Yanni, who's a big fan of the show. I told him he's more than welcome to come on tonight, but he's very camera shy sometimes. Oh. Yeah, I'm sure everybody else, you want to give a quick rundown of what you've been doing over the last few years?
Yes. So for the last few years, Okay, well, I started like really seriously cosplaying in 2018, spring of 2018, and I started working. I'm in the Philly area, and there isn't a huge cosplay crowd in the Philly area. I got to know a lot of people in the New York area and collaborated with them. And when was it? Right before the pandemic, I did a collaboration with my partner Raphael Rising, and he's a huge Power Rangers fan, and I was a Power Rangers fan like as a little 90s kid with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But he'd asked me to collaborate with him on a Power Rangers shoot. We did that, and we caught the attention of the Power Rangers community. And then we were asked to audition for a fan film. Little did we know this was a group that won the first ever fan film contest at Power Morphicon, and we got the parts of Pink and Green Ranger in an alternate universe within the Unworthy Productions Power Rangers, Unworthy Power Rangers verse. Mm-hmm. And since the world went under, we had the opportunity to start training in fight choreography and stunts. And we haven't looked back since. So with the cosplaying, I also train as much as I can with fight choreography and stunts. I wouldn't say I'm an official stunt performer because that is a very serious title to give yourself. But I am in training, always learning, always developing. And we've just been doing different gigs within the acting and cosplay community, fan film community. So I kind of balance both as wonderful passions of mine, while I also balance all that with having a muggle job by day.
That's right. A muggle job. I love that you call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what your first cosplay was?
My very first cosplay. So I would say, I went to New York Comic Con in 2016 or 2017, and I didn't know the world of cosplay. I was, very sad. I was definitely undiagnosed, depressed, anxiety disordered, everything. And I just didn't have a tribe of people. And when I walked in the doors of New York Comic Con, dressed in pretty much just your typical Halloween costume of Black Widow, I felt like I walked into, Narnia. I felt like I walked into an entirely new world, and I was like, oh, I came completely unprepared. So I had this kind of, just Party City Halloween version of Black Widow that first time. And then when I said, okay, I want to be a part of this world, I feel like I'm surrounded by people who are excited and enthusiastic to be exactly who they are. It was April 2017, so it must have been the 2016 New York Comic Con that I made a Gamora from the first Guardians of the Galaxy. And then from there, I said, I can do better than that. And this was before Marvel cracked down on set photos. And there were some paparazzi photos of Wasp from the first Ant-Man movie. And I said, okay, I think I can make this. So I literally got a scuba suit, and with pretty much glue sticks and a hope and a wish, I put together the worst looking Wasp suit ever. But I did a good enough job that I got to work with some really cool photographers and got to work with some really cool people. So it went from, embarrassing, cringy Black Widow to slightly better Gamora to I don't even want to talk about it, Wasp. And every project from there, I would probably cringe at until I'm working on my next project and I'm proud of it, and then I'll cringe later.
Right. So this quote just came in from Jordan, and I totally screwed that up. There it is. And I feel like this is exactly how we're all feeling right now. I'm sure you're just being modest. It couldn't have been that bad. Or,
Okay,
you know,
would you watch your first Between Two Sentinels and not cringe?
Absolutely not. But you know, but I'm sure if somebody else said it,
every creator cringes at their early work.
It is very true. But I feel like that wasp costume, you know, to some degree, you know, not to take away from anything else, but kind of put you on the map, right? I mean, you pretty much nailed the Evangeline Lilly. I think that's how you say it. I don't know if I mispronounced it, but
yes. She has a very unique look, and if I do my makeup just right and turn to the side, you know, one side rather than the other, then I can kind of look like her. Really, it's just an amalgamation of costume and makeup and hair that makes it all look like I look like her. But otherwise, nobody in the street is ever like, hey, has anybody ever told you look like Evangeline? Nobody ever says that. So it really is, you know, people's suspension of belief that gives it that magic.
Yeah. I not to make this all about me, but if I don't cut my hair for a couple weeks and put on a dark jacket, I get the other butcher from
Nice.
Boys a lot.
Yeah, I see
So,
it. I see it.
So yeah. So one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk to you was just like, you know, we're predominantly toy photography, but also, you know, we're a bunch of nerds. But even just what you said in the fact of you know, in describing kind of the cosplay community, there's a lot of similarities, right? The community is very welcoming. We learn from our mistakes. You know, you're kind of finding your tribe in the people that are doing something that you love. You're right. I wouldn't go back and watch my first show. I wouldn't go back and look at my first few toy photography shots, but you know, but you learn along the way. So talk to us a little bit about, you know, kind of learning through the process, but having that community with you.
Sure. I mean, so, you know, one thing I am passionate about talking about is I'm at least from a generation where bullying was absolutely a huge problem, and this was before cyberbullying. You know, my family's half Japanese, so I grew up with my stinky lunches, and I grew up celebrating festivals. I grew up in California, so there was a large Asian community there, and I was very proud Asian family member. You know, I had a very proud I have a very proud Asian family. And besides that, I was small, I was geeky, probably before anybody could diagnose neurodivergence. I definitely have some of the difficulties that come up, you know, with growing up neurodivergent, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy in school for me, and so I remember seeking solace in the library, whether it was school library, local library, and I would read Uncanny X-Men comics, and I would just delve into the world of the X-Men, and just seeing that the things that made me different actually made me extraordinary. And so I always was missing that. In, what was it, 2000, 2001, the X-Men movie came out, and I didn't care that all of the other people around me were like, technically, that's not how it was in the comics. I didn't even care. I was just so happy.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't care, because I was like, I can't believe this is on, you know, a major motion picture screen. And so I didn't have that tribe for most of my life, and I tried to assimilate. I tried to conform to, you know, what is expected of anybody in our normal society. So I was so sad for so long, and so frustrated, thinking there has to be something more out there. I remember my friends were like, you'll find something. I know you'll find it. And then that fateful day when I walked into a Comic-Con and I said, this is it. This is what I've been missing my entire life. And when I found that, and I found a community of people, it was so overwhelming and so lovely. I remember the Green brothers, I remember John and Hank Green, they talked about how being a nerd and being a geek was actually a bad word once upon a time, but all it is being unabashedly enthusiastic about the things you love. There's nothing shameful. There's nothing embarrassing about that.
Yeah.
And I finally found a community that gave me that feeling of never being ashamed and being happy to talk with people enthusiastically about the things I love. So that is my entrance into fandom and community. And obviously, you know, fandom changes, it evolves, and I love finding new communities and sharing that enthusiasm as you grow, as you learn, as you get into more things. Yeah, ever since then, it's this thing that keeps me going. It's the thing that keeps me happy and healthy. Yeah.
That's awesome, and I really appreciate you sharing that. I mean, it's certainly something that I'm sure, you know, everybody has felt. At least everybody in this community, in cosplay and toy photography, nerd community in general, has felt. You know, and there's always going to be things we need to overcome, or, you know, people who are going to make ridiculous statements like the first X-Men is the worst, but that's what sets it off. I mean, you know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad.
I think the third one was the worst.
Yeah, the third one was pretty bad. Third one was pretty bad. So I do want to talk a little bit about obviously your cosplay, and we've got some stuff here from we've pulled from your Instagram. That sounds weird. I don't want to say it like that. And as I always do, the nervous thing of trying to share the screen. I think this is the one I was thinking of. Nope. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's one shot in particular of you doing the famous the famous pose, the flash pose. And one thing I actually thought was cool was to kind of talk about is a couple of things. One, finding the right location to do something like this, right? Like, you know, and that's something that we talk about too, and just like either creating that location or finding the location and shooting. What was kind of the idea of the process? And, you know, obviously, just this is an amazing shot, and I love the behind the scenes of having that split second of having that picture be perfect. But talk to us just a little bit about, you know, finding this space and then getting the shot done.
Sure. So I can't talk about this collaboration without talking about my wonderful friend, Jonathan Bell. It was the summer of, I want to say 2021. This cosplayer, this artist, this creator named Jonathan Bell had reached out and said, I've recently moved to Philly, and I would love to collaborate with you. And one of the things that I have learned from my years in performance arts is to say yes and. So I am always open to collaborations and learning and working with new people. And I saw Jonathan Bell's work. He's amazing. He's often called Seattle Superman, and I'm sure many other nicknames, because he just comes to a city and takes over and becomes crazy famous with all his beautiful photography and video work. And he wanted to work with me, which I was really excited about. So ever since then, I would say maybe about once a month or so, we get together and we create something fantastic together. Usually it ends up in the DC realm, sometimes in the Marvel realm. And this particular shoot, he has an amazing Valzad cosplay. And I said, okay, we have to get together. We don't have a lot of time because we both have Muggle jobs as well. And I said, there are a few locations I know in the Philadelphia area. One that has some really beautiful light that comes through. It's this parking garage in Philadelphia. And I would love, since it's rainy and stormy, but we still need that light to come in. Let's go to this wonderful location. And I was introduced to this location by one of my photographers that I work with, Candid John Kim. He is awesome at scouting locations. So, you know, I've come to know the city better from working with him. He was the one actually that did the Power Rangers shoot that got me started in the Power Rangers fandom.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
And so we went to this wonderful garage, and we just kind of goofed off. It's one of those places that doesn't have an attendant. So, and people in Philly don't care like they do in New York. So they're just like, hey, cool, superheroes. So we just go there, kind of goof off. We always have reference pictures to see something that we might want to emulate or recreate. but it's just off the top of our heads. And we just say, okay, let's try this. And we come up with some ideas. There are a few little outtakes of, oh no, that didn't work. But honestly, this is a split-second decision that just comes together so well.
So I think there's another one too in here, in this screen, or in this garage too. I think you did a Spider-Gwen. How do you pick like which characters you want to do?
That's awesome, Matt. So one of the things that's really important to me is that I feel comfortable in the cosplay, and that I feel like if I wanted to jump and roll and climb on some things, that I could. This is actually another garage.
Oh, okay.
Where is that? Now I can't think of it. Why can't I think of it? That's another garage. But parking garages are a very favorite place for a lot of really cool cosplay photography. Let's see. That's actually, I think that's across the street from the other parking garage that we also did another Gwen photo shoot. But yeah, the way I pick is based off of comfort level, and if I can make it, because like, for example, I'm never gonna do Psylocke. I think that takes women, especially Asian women, back 1,000 years in feminism and empowerment, from the token, like every Asian woman has to have some purple in her hair or some red, in her hair, to, my boobs have to be out, my leotard has to be just pretty much a crack up my private parts. Like, I'm never going to do something like that. One, because I couldn't move around like that. I couldn't save the world like that if I were a real superhero. And it doesn't emulate the type of person that makes me feel empowered. But I would choose somebody like the Flash, who has a wonderful sense of humor. It has a lot of strength, is going to have a lot of really cool dynamic shots. I am going to choose somebody like the Wasp, who is fully covered, but is beautiful and feminine and strong and kind of kick ass.
I love that. And I love the, I have a daughter who's 9 who's also cosplaying now. And it's funny that you mentioned Gamora, because she was Gamora last year. That was hours of face paint. But yeah, she's been, so, and that's honestly, that's something like, as a dad, that I think about too, right? Like, okay, you're gonna get older. Like, you're 9 now. Like, yeah, I can control this, but you're gonna get older, and like, I want you to pick characters that inspire you, or that are good role models, like Gamora, who's a badass, right? She's not just not that Psylocke's not a badass, but you're right. Like, there is something that's there about it. So
can you imagine trying to get that costume at Party City and then putting it on your 9-year-old daughter and being like, you know what? We're gonna put some sweatpants on you.
Yeah. You're gonna be Psylocke on a cold night. So here's jeans. Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, and then here's the other thing that I find actually very interesting. So ever since, like, when X-Men came out, for example, I remember people having a lot of opinions. Like, the people around me, and they're like, technically, they have a lot of opinions about things. And I remember being personally disappointed that we didn't have that classic X-Men look with the costumes. And it wasn't until I was older and actually got my hands into making costumes that I could have an informed opinion. A lot of people don't have informed opinions when they make their judgments on movie adaptations or TV show adaptations. I remember, like, they didn't really like the costumes, and then people would say what they would have preferred to see as a costume. As somebody who actually does costumes, now I can say, okay, those costumes aren't practical. For example, the leather, completely constricting. I'm sure everybody's seen the BTS of the actors being so frustrated in them.
Yeah, they couldn't even, like, step on a ledge.
Or Keaton, right? Keaton talks about how he can't turn his head, right?
The cowl,
yeah.
Let's not talk about 89 Batman.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Everyone's still upset about that. Yeah.
I can actually say, whenever anybody has an opinion, all I have to say is, could you put that on? Could you put that on and be a first responder? No? Yeah. Then it's not a good costume.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a good point. I remember watching a thing that talked about just talking about that and like being able to move and talk about the evolution, right? I think, what is it, Captain America's costume, or most of the costumes now are vests, so that you're not worried about, they have the arm movement, right? So it's like something that goes over here to not restrict. That was something that
you're talking about, like the movie costume, right?
Yeah,
like
the
actual movie costume.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of women resonate with Yelena Belova, because of the brilliant costume design that came with her.
And the pockets, so functional.
Very true. Very true.
They're great. So, and you talked about being able to move, and I know that we talked about that you're training, and there's some of this stuff that like you're throwing yourself around here for sure. But did it not? I want to make sure it's shared. And I think in this one, okay, cool. This one, really shows you kind of just getting started, and where are you training in these? Where are the locations? I mean, you've even got the fly suit there.
Right. So a few of them are in, somebody's basement, my own living room, a training center in Newark, New Jersey. And then we have some friends on the East Coast. We've done a few different training seminars. One was in Connecticut. There's a gym, a parkour gym up in Connecticut that will sometimes do seminars, AMP Academy or AMP Gym. And then we've done a seminar in Atlanta, Georgia with Sweet Spot of the Flame. They're originally Chicago based, but they came down to Atlanta since Atlanta is hugely stunt based. But yeah, any opportunity that I have, especially on the East Coast, since it's a little bit easier to commute along the East Coast here, I take it from Newark, New Jersey to Astoria, Queens, Connecticut, all the way down to Atlanta.
Oh wow! All the way. So go all the way down to Atlanta. Have you done cons down there too?
I have done Dragon Con once, and I went to MegaCon to hang out with my friends Liz Wonder and the Super 80 and Foggy Knight and Rev Harley. They were all down in Florida, so I got to hang out with them. But I want to make that trip more often so that I can train down in Florida and Atlanta.
Yeah. So in the training that you've done, I mean, obviously you've probably taken a hit, you've taken a fall. What's kind of either the worst hit you've taken or the worst fall you've taken? Like I don't want to talk about getting injured, but like what's the most that that it's hurt? Let's put it that way.
Injury is actually a badge of pride in stunts. First, you're supposed to make it look believable that you are in a lot of pain. So when it actually sells because you actually did get hurt, that's sometimes the shot that people will want to include in the footage that gets released, because it's real. It looks real because it is real. You'll see that if you watch things like Stuntman or Stuntwomen Reacts on the Corridor Crew channel. They talk about how out of respect, especially if you get hurt during a stunt, they will sometimes include that shot just out of respect for the stunt actor. But I've learned the hard way about flatbacks.
Okay. I don't know what flatbacks are.
Pretty much like it sounds. If you've ever had the wind knocked out of you from just falling flat on your back.
Okay, got it.
That's what I did. I tried to do, there's one of the shots that you just showed is called a taco. So you start here, you go back, and your legs go over like a taco. It's one of my favorite things to do. It is really easy to sell well if you get the form right. but I tried to do it on the set of Psycho Menace, one of the most recent Unworthy Power Rangers production. I tried to do it on a very slim mat after having trained on something a little bit more squishy, like a mattress. I had I had expensive pads on, everything, helmet, and I went. The headache went. I could feel my brain jostling in the juices,
Right.
And the pain radiated all the way to the front. Everything hurt. You know when you sleep wrong in your bed and you wake up and you can't turn, like Batman? That's exactly what happened. So that one was one of the worst. And then not wearing shin guards while training jujitsu and kickboxing. I was completely purple all down to the tip of my toes. But I've been getting injuries ever since I was little. I've always been an athlete, a competitive athlete. So I'm no stranger to bruises, cuts, burns, and lots of broken bones.
I'm gonna have to take an Advil just after what you guys talked about there. So, but I know that Matt, you seem to agree and understand a lot more of that conversation than I did, and I know that we've talked about this in the past, but you seem to know what a flatback and a taco is.
Yeah, because I was actually training in pro wrestling for a little bit.
Before, what?
Yeah, this was like maybe it's about 10 years now, but like this is before I met John, and actually leads into how I met John, the Jshot.
Sure.
Right? Because I was training in pro wrestling, but to get in shape, I also needed to get bigger, put on more mass. I was just doing regular bodybuilding, but then like I read a tweet from one of the wrestlers, Seth Rollins, and he mentioned like a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
After I read about that, I started looking into it. Long story short, I met Jshot through a CrossFit gym locally, and that's how this whole friendship started.
Right.
That's awesome.
Unintentionally wearing the shirt of the CrossFit gym that no longer exists. Yeah, so we're talking it here.
Yeah,
I want to know if there's pictures or video from your wrestling days, because I think that would be fun.
I have to look it up. I think I have some shots, but like,
did you have a persona that you were hoping to bring to life?
Not entirely yet. I like I said, I was only training. I actually hurt my shoulder pretty bad. They would use us, like the students, as like extras in the actual shows. And as I was progressing, they were like, all right, we're gonna use you for a show. And like I was supposed to be security, but like I'm not a big guy, like I'm 5'6" on a good day, right? They're like, okay, so you're gonna try to stop the wrestlers from causing a riot or whatever. I take a suplex, and then I'm like, okay, I could take a suplex, and then they're gonna toss you out of the ring. I'm like, excuse me, you didn't teach me that yet. So they tossed me out of the ring with full force. Like they just gave me like a quick rundown. Grab the top rope, put your arm over. But like he put like one of the wrestlers just threw me over with so much momentum that I missed the side of the ring where I'm supposed to catch. And I slammed my shoulder into the edge. And then I landed face first on the ground.
Where was this? Where was this?
This was a local indie show here in Staten Island.
In Staten Island. Yeah. Wow, they weren't scared at all that there would be any repercussions for their actions, because that's the thing about stunts is the safest place to be on a movie set is with stunt actors, because their whole job is safety.
Yes, exactly.
Or should be.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, my gosh. I kind of like stopped doing it because it was basically like I give them all the props in the world, like professional wrestlers. It's just like to travel so far, it's like so many miles, and just to wrestle like for a hot dog and a handshake, they didn't really pay you that much going like in the indies.
I've learned a lot about professional wrestling. I did not grow up with that. I mean, my family's military as well, and they were very strict. So, I have my Japanese side, I have the military side, and so things like enjoying cable television, or especially not pay-per-view or anything like that, that was a luxury. So I didn't know much about professional wrestling until I took stage combat courses. And actually, I always like to bring up this weird trivia. There's another fan film series of Power Rangers called Shattered Past. Power Rangers Shattered Past, and my friend Colin, he is a co-creator of that, and we grew up pretty much 8 miles down the street from each other, going to classes at the same community college as children, child actors. And we probably took the same class. I don't remember him. And we both ended up, he's still in California. I'm here on the other side of the country doing Power Rangers fan films. And I learned pro wrestling starting from there, but then now, especially learning stunts, I have so much respect for pro wrestlers and how they sell things and what they put their bodies through, especially the ones from the 80s. Crazy.
It's not just in the ring either, what they had to put their bodies through in the 80s.
Are you talking about all of the helpful assistance that they imbibed?
Yes.
Good cover. I was like, this is a family. No, it's not a family show.
Oh, okay. I already described Psylocke in some grotesque detail, so
that's true.
I didn't ask at the top of the show if this was a family show.
No, you're good. You could curse, let it go, let it fly, whatever you want to do here.
I think they say that the biggest like addiction in wrestling now is like they're all mostly addicted to video games. So
well, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
My how the mighty have fallen. Yeah.
Well, and then I know this is kind of out of left field, but are you Creed fans?
Like the
Creed
movie?
as in
the movies?
I haven't seen it yet, and I want to.
Well, I know that a lot of people who are huge wrestling and boxing and MMA fans are also huge anime fans. So I could see wrestling fans being huge anime addicts as well.
Yeah, and Creed was inspired, like a lot of the scenes were inspired by anime.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that. So out of left field, but very informative because I had no idea. That's awesome. And yeah, I know we got a lot of anime fans in here, and my extent of wrestling is why you gotta call me out like that? Why? So if I did like Creed, why? Just all right. Anyway, I won't sing anymore because otherwise we'll all start here. We'll all start. Yeah. The chat has been popping off though. I gotta give credit here. People are really excited that Matchu Libre has made an appearance tonight, and I think that needs to be a handle. Also, Matchu, a lot of comments about your glasses.
Yeah,
I've gotten Matchu's hot as opposed to the old Jay's hot, which is nice. Looking studious. You're Clark Kenting it. I like that one. That was good. So you know,
not Donald ducking it, right?
I mean, you could be for all we know. I don't know. So Babs looks confused. Okay, good. Yeah. Donald ducking it. Donald only wears a shirt. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So why is it Donald ducking it, not Winnie the Poohing it? Same thing, right?
I think you could probably start it from here.
Yeah. So all right.
Yeah, let's create that hashtag Winnie the Poohing it.
Yeah, that's probably not going to work. There was a comment and I just lost it. I think Jordan from Canada called you a real life superhero. Yep. So we'll give you credit there, Babs. So you are in there. Let's see. And then here you got Pain Toy Samples has been loving your cosplay stuff on Instagram.
Thank you.
I know that when you and I first connected and talked about being on the show, you were doing a big katsukan push. How did that go? And what were sorry, Jurassic Jesse, is Matchu pooing it? It's all right. Where's Bearded? We've gone unhinged. So how did katsukan go?
Oh, it was wonderful. One of the things, I got to do for the first time was actually stay. I'm not sure. Have you ever been to katsukan?
No, it's one of the ones I haven't been to.
I don't even know what that is. I must be enlightened.
It's based in Maryland at the Gaylord Resort. It's this beautiful multi-story resort. It's very similar to Dragon Con. in that people stay in this resort, and it's definitely very party oriented. It's usually centered around anime and gaming, and people from all over the world go. They make builds for the entire year sometimes. You have to book well in advance, at like probably around a year in advance to even get in the hotel. So I had the opportunity to stay with some really, really lovely ladies. And it just so happened that a few of them were coordinating cosplays. And when I was chatting with them, they wanted to do a Masters of the Universe group. And that's the type of place where you do a really fun group cosplay. And it just so happens that after training in fight choreography and stunts, the people that I collaborate with in Unworthy Productions said, well, now Babs might make a good villain. And so they asked if I would please consider making the cosplay and training to be Evangeline in their Masters of the Universe fan film. And I was thrilled. We got
Really?
There's a wonderful cosplayer and creator named Ember Phantom who created the armor for her. Fantastic. I am not an armor person, so she absolutely killed it. And we got to actually create a teaser trailer for it. I don't think it's been released. I've been sitting on that for so long. It's so good. I got to live. That's what without me training bow staff. That was me training as Evangeline.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The Evangeline choreography. There's an epic fight. And so I had reached out to the girls. I said, oh, I have an Evangeline if you want to do Masters of the Universe. So they got sexy Skeletor and sexy He-Man, and we put that together. And it just so happened, we had no idea that katsukan had already planned to make an entire floor, like half of the floor, Masters of the Universe themed, with themed drinks and sets and everything.
Oh, wow.
So we just had the time of our life,
That's perfect.
Being absolute goofballs on the floor, dancing to the Four Non-Blondes parody song. Remember that old viral video?
Oh, you don't mean this, do you?
I was about to pull it up. Oh, take up the music. We don't want to get flagged.
I had to give it a little bit of it. So
a little bit.
Yeah, I love that you just went into. First off, I love the fact that you have a movie coming out about this, but this also, it's so funny.
There were a lot of people that are too young to know the viral video, and definitely too young to be Masters of the Universe fans. But there are plenty of people at katsukan who did know the references, and were really, really thrilled to see us. So regardless of which generation they came from, people were having fun with us. So we got to do that. I got to debut. I'm looking at it right across from me. My Quantumania wasp suit.
Oh yeah, that looked awesome.
And I got to work with this wonderful creator, Susie Creates Cosplay, who made a movie accurate Mary Marvel cosplay, and she had me work with her pattern, and I got to debut what it looks like to go, to work off of her patterns, which are amazing. So it was a very, very successful con. It was such a fun time. Cons can be either devastatingly horrible, or they can be the most fun you've had in your entire life. And that's what it was for me.
I feel like every con I've ever gone to has been devastatingly horrible to my wallet. I will say that. So
well, that's because you're a toy collector, right?
Yeah,
you're a figure collector.
Totally my own fault. Absolutely my own fault.
You don't always buy so many things at cons.
I don't count it at what, like, the shows we go to. That doesn't count. Okay. I'm talking like New York Comic Con. Yeah. I think I'm still paying off New York Comic Con, and that was in October. But so it just
you go with me and my sister on the first day, and then you go with your family the other day, and
on the Sunday.
Is there a method to the madness of do you, because as far as I know, I would just wait until Sunday when vendors are desperate to get rid of their stock to buy anything. But maybe that's actually not the way to go about buying stuff at a con. What's your method?
It really depends, because like if there's exclusives, right? Like we usually go on Thursday, and Thursdays are a big shop day because there's exclusives.
And the last day is usually what we did.
So
but this year we did 4-day pass because we weren't sure if people were gonna, fly into New York from another, like Mario did on Saturday. That was supposed to be our designated day off from the con.
I still took a day off. I was shot. I don't know how you did 4 days, but I'm getting old, so but Sunday, Sunday's always, and that's the day I take my daughter and my son now. My daughter has gone to a con, I think, to New York Comic Con since she's 3 years old. And she's done a costume for every year except the year they were shut down. So she's done Harley, she's done Batgirl, Gamora was the last one. And she actually, it's kind of funny, for the last 3 years. Oh no, not Gamora. Sorry, Sabine was her last costume. Because my son was Chopper, and that was his favorite thing. He just ran around like a menace, like the like Chopper should. I'm trying to think of his name now because Melody has taken pictures with him the last 3 years, so it's actually cool to see how he's progressed. He's progressed and she's progressed. Can't think of Jennings is his name. Jennings Brower.
Yeah, I got to work with Jennings. I got to work with Jennings. He's awesome.
He's super sweet too, like really nice, like
very, very nice. I didn't recognize when I worked with him, he was masked as Spidey, and so then the next time I saw him, he was as Lucifer, and I was like, I don't know you, and then it was like, oh, you guys work together. Oh, we had so much fun together. Oh my God, that was you. I had no idea. But that goes to show you, always be nice with the people that you work.
Yeah. It'd be nice to everybody. Yeah. I used to have an old boss when I first started out in production, and he used to say, just be nice to everybody. You never know who your boss is going to be tomorrow. So it's kind of carried out for there. But Jennings is great. We always catch him obviously on Sunday, so he usually does his like Superboy cosplay, which is just a black t-shirt and jeans. Obviously we have the same cosplay on. He just looks better in it. It's fine. He's super sweet. All right, so KatsuCon's done. What's your next con? I got people in here trying to get you to come to New Jersey Toy Con. I don't know if you'd be interested. You can come as our guest and hang out. Oh my gosh,
that'd be awesome. It depends on when it is. When is it?
June 10th and 11th, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, a couple days before my birthday.
I don't need to. Well, there you go. I'm not going to make you make a decision on screen. I understand that that's pressure, but we'll keep chatting and we'll see what happens. June is a long.
If you send me the details, I can take a look at it. The next con.
Absolutely.
Okay, so actually the next con that I had planned was Awesome Con down. It's June, my birthday weekend, June 16th weekend, down in DC. That's the next one that I have planned. I love going down to the DC, Maryland area. I find that the community of cosplayers down there, in my experience, has just been so chill and welcoming and laid back. In comparison to the Northeast, which can be a little bit high strung, sometimes very high stakes. Gotta be perfect, and I like the more laid back vibe. So I have Awesome Con coming up. I love to see all my DC, Maryland, Virginia people down there. But right before that is New Jersey Toy Con. I have a question actually. Once upon a time, I would go to a Toy Con, an antique Toy Con here in PA. Is right down not right down the street, but maybe like 25 minutes away. ZoloCon.
Yeah, we just went. We were there. Yeah,
it still exists. I didn't know it still existed.
Yeah, we were there. Oh God, it was like what, 4 weeks ago?
It's called the Citadel or something like that. That building is called the Citadel. It's round.
I don't know if it's in the same building because now it's at like this. It's at like an event space that has a UFO in it in Philly, or not in Philly, but it's like
not a UFO, but like it
had like a space theme.
Yeah, it has a space theme.
Okay.
The Fuge. Yeah, the Fuge. D Blake and
I might
RG.
I might be misremembering. It's not the Citadel. It's exactly what you're saying.
The
Yes.
Fuge. Yeah. So yeah, that was there, and we actually met up with a couple people down there. RG and who's in the chat with
So
us.
you were in my neck of the woods. I had no idea.
Sorry. I try my best not to be a stalker, and sometimes it happens. So, but yeah, that was a good time, and that happens. It's been going on for a while, and so
Yeah.
next year we'll bring
I have seen people. I've seen people get the most amazing return on investment in the things that they have kept since they were children. Like something that would have been not pennies, but not $8,000 now.
There was someone selling the original 92 in box Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sewer playset from Playmates. Never opened, fully sealed. $25,000 they wanted for it. And I was like, cool. That's about $24,000 out of my price range.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine? Though? Yeah. So
no, but here's the thing. Here, I have this really, really wonderful memory. I didn't grow up in Pennsylvania, but I would come out here in the summers and the winters, summer and winter break, because I had family out here. And I would go to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. Have you ever been to your local Renaissance Fair?
Not the Pennsylvania one. I do the Tuxedo one every year.
Tuxedo one? I haven't heard that.
Tuxedo, New York. Yep.
Oh, so the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, I'm not sure if it's similar to the one that you've been to, but it's actually there the whole year round. They just open in the summer. So it's they call it the Shire. It's an actual created space for specifically for Renaissance Fair. And they used to have a thing called the pirate auction, and people who I would soon become, I remember seeing them standing in the shipyard, looking up, singing the yo ho, thieves and beggars, the pirate song.
Yeah.
They would all sing the anthem together. There was this whole production that went on like tradition every year, and there was a huge auction of replica weapons, and people would be saving their money all year for these replica weapons, and you wouldn't believe how much money they would drop on their haul. And I just remember being like, that is the revenge. When you've been bullied your whole life and people call you weird and people call it stupid that you've been, obsessing over these things, and then you get the most amazing job because you're smart and because you're nerdy, and you put all that money in your savings and you go to the pirate auction and you show them look how cool I am.
That's amazing. So does that mean you're let's see, in Disney they call it your friends of characters in Pennsylvania in the Renaissance Festival, or you don't do it anymore?
You know what? It does have that Disney vibe because they have to stay in character. Yep. Speaking of fandom, I feel like every fandom, if you get too far deep into it, there's a dirty, disgusting, slimy underbelly, right?
100%.
That's why I don't get too far into fandom anymore. I stay at a nice boundary, acceptable distance. But apparently, just like with Disney, the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair has a slimy little underbelly if you get too close. So I don't even get close enough to be friends with the characters.
Okay.
I mean, you can dress up, but if you get sucked in too deep where you're also kind of LARPing with them, you might be in far too deep with the fandom.
Gotcha. So Archie writes in and says he's been there before. I don't know if he means the Pennsylvania Renaissance Festival, or if he's talking about the seedy, slimy underbelly of the Pennsylvania Renaissance Festival fandom.
Is there a slimy underbelly to collection of figurines and toys?
We call them resellers. Not resellers. What do we call them? The guys that just go in and
scalpers?
Scalpers. Yeah. We call them scalpers. RG has climbed in and says both. So he knows.
I thought you were gonna refer to like the waifu section. The waifu for
No,
waifu section.
Because I'm not involved. I don't know. So, I would go with
Good
scalpers.
answer.
That's the seedy side,
scalpers.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's the scalpers, the people who are walking into Target and taking everything, and then we got to pay double for it online because we just got to have it. So,
Oh my gosh,
it happens.
Yeah, it's
It happens.
everything. You could just be knitting. You could be in the
That's
knitting community. There's a slimy underbelly.
I heard they're dangerous, that knitting community. So
They're
Jordan
armed.
from Canada, they are armed. Jordan from Canada wants you to have your own podcast, but I will extend an invite that you are welcome back anytime.
Always,
until you get yours going.
I think that's just a nice way of saying I talk too much, but that's all right.
The other thing I know we wanted to touch on a little bit, and we've hinted at it. There was some huge Power Ranger news today. The trailer dropped. Obviously, this is the one that is featuring David Yost, and I can't think of the actor's name for the life of me, who's coming back from the original Mighty Morphin. And you obviously
Walter Jones. Walter Jones is Black Ranger. Steve Cardenas. I'm gonna forget all. I know all the names. They're just gonna escape me. But
yeah. So I mean, obviously you mentioned it that you've been doing the Unworthy stuff, which I think this is a clip here that they've been sharing. So it's got to be some exciting stuff. When is this coming out?
Wonderful question. I try not to stress out my director, Jordan. Not Jordan from Canada, Jordan of Unworthy. I try not to stress him out by asking when it's going to release. I know that he tries to go off of when the next project is going to come out. So I think he wants, I know he's currently doing all the edits, all of the what can I think of the word? The special effects, probably all the sound, sound edits for Psycho Menace. This is Psycho Menace. This is a Star Wars Power Rangers crossover.
Oh,
what?
Oh my God. Oh my God. So that was me body doubling for my friend Eleni, who is like a world champion Taekwondo star. Autumn Ivy, this amazing creator online who is known for her exceptional voice acting. She is the voice of Psycho Empress. So I just, by merit of being a dedicated part of Unworthy and having a villainous walk and being able to fit in the suit, I got to body double Psycho Empress for a few scenes. This is amazing. I think I've seen some complaints about the Once and Always Power Rangers trailer that just released, that it should have a little bit more gravitas. It should have a little bit more darkness to it. If this is the Rangers come back, if this is Netflix approved, there should be a little bit more grit to it. If that's what you want, Unworthy.
Well, I had no idea there was Star Wars attached to it. So now,
my gosh, the actor who plays Andros, you'll see in like the teasers of the posts of Psycho Menace, is the guy who is going to be He-Man to My Evil Lynn. His name is Chris, and he is an amazing stunt actor. He kind of plays, I think it'll be okay for me to talk about this, he kind of plays a Luke character, and Psycho Empress is like an evil Leia.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting. We've talked about if Leia had gone evil before.
If that's what you want, my God. And the quality of the lighting, the set, we got to film in Pennsylvania at this amazing, what is that called? The laser tag arena, amazing laser tag arena.
That's smart.
They closed down the whole thing for us. The set design, the lighting, the cinematography is amazing.
That's really smart. A laser. I wouldn't have think of all of that.
You're gonna when it comes out,
right.
you won't be able to get rid of me. You're just gonna see me just hyping it up the whole time. It is amazing.
I'm gonna have to look into that laser tag place then.
Oh yeah, it's called I don't know why I always say this because I think because my mom and my aunt grew up with the original Ultraman cartoon, and so they would always say Ultraman, and so it's called Ultrazone. So I'm always like Ultrazone, Ultrazone in I believe Bensalem, Pennsylvania.
Bensalem, okay. I know, Matt, you just went real quick to your Power Ranger setup, but Jordan is saying he loves your display. So let me give you full screen while you do that.
Yes.
Not me. Go away from me. There we go.
Wow.
Look at that.
And it's right next to my Star Wars shelf too. How fitting.
Which look at you dropping hints this whole time. Look at you. And of course we've got our D Blake sign, our D Blake Power Ranger sign there. Rocking that always. Art G says that is in his backyard. So I don't know if that's his actual backyard.
I heard
he's just living on a compound, or
he's got money, so it could be true.
Archie, why haven't you invited us to your your
Ultrazone
backyard? Yeah, what's going on there? What's going on?
So with Unworthy, so I got to I'm doing Evil Lynn for their He-Man. I got to body double for Psycho Empress. And I am so the big thing with Unworthy is it's actually collaborating with the other fan films within the larger canon of Power Rangers verse. And one of the things that's going to happen is that the Morphin Grid is going to expand to have a multiverse. And I play Pink Ranger in a multiverse. So if you think of, I think long ago, the actress that plays Bo-Katan in the Mandalorian. Yes, Katie Sackhoff, Starbuck, right?
Yep, Starbuck. That's how I know her. Yes.
Yeah.
She'll always be Starbuck. Yes.
Well, she was Pink Ranger in that James Vanderbeek.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's similar to it's dark like that. I'm going to be playing a version of Pink Ranger, kind of similar to that, but it's within the Unworthy Power Rangers. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm currently working on stuff for that.
D Blake wants his 43rd birthday at Ultrazone. I don't know when your birthday is, but we might have competing birthdays because I'm like, shit, that's where I want my 40th. Let's do that.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Let's go. Fantastic.
To steal a Poncheesy light. Let's go. Totally lost track of what I was going to ask next. Kimberly. Oh, so what? So is Principal Photography? Damn it, Blake, you beat me. So Blake is July 31st. Mine's August. So that's too close. We'll have to figure something out. Principal Photography done for this one? Yes.
For Psycho Menace, yes. Yeah, so all wrapped as of like a couple weekends ago.
Okay.
And so now it's all just editing. I believe the next project, as of the last time that Jordan gave an update, was Ninjetti. Crystal, Beautiful Diz, who's this amazing creator and martial artist, and she does all of the special effects for Unworthy.
Oh,
so talented and beautiful. Beautiful Diz. Her name's Crystal. She is Yellow Ranger, and there's Ninjor comes in, Yellow Ranger. It's a Ninjetti spin-off kind of, and then I believe Psycho Menace comes after that once that's all edited, and then we start filming for episode 5, which is when I will come in as the 2217 Pink Ranger.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I love the tie-in. That's just like bringing everybody in, and it's such a thing right now that we're seeing. Not only just like with Unworthy's doing it, like you said, the Netflix show, but even the toys, right? I mean, the toys of the Power Rangers are coming in with all the different lines and kind of merging the multiverses, and even merging, like they've got the TMNT crossover with Power Rangers. They've got the Street Fighter that Chamba worked on, which is awesome. So it's really fun that like everything, to your point you said earlier, right? Everything that we were bullied about now is so popular, and look at us spending all our money on it just to show them. Right. So Archie says now we need a Babs Pink Ranger figure. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Somebody,
I know.
Somebody just messaged me. They said, why don't you just take a Wasp figurine, pop the head off, and then put it on Pink Ranger, or put it on anything, really? And I was just like, that's a damn good idea.
Matt'll have that before the end of the show. Oh, look at this crossover Cyberpunk Pink Ranger. I'd get behind that.
Oh my gosh, there's this amazing artist online. I'm not sure if he uses AI, which I know is a little bit controversial, but he has made these amazing, they're almost like Blade Runner 2049-esque Power Ranger pieces of art. If there's anything that inspires a cosplayer more, creating these kind of alternate universe versions of a beloved character. I don't have the budget to make it.
So it looks like Toy Rentu actually knows. So is it Tokyo J? Is that? I'm I'm sure I butchered that. But yeah, and Grey Heaven Anime, I feel like has been trying to say hi for a while. So I'm gonna make sure she gets up there. But yeah, Matt, you look like you're trying to find something or pull something up. What do you do?
I'm just
stall. Do you need me to stall?
No. I'm wondering with the Wasp head sculpt is.
We'll get that done. I was just going to say, Customs by Matchu is taking 3 weeks off from his. By the way, we have Matchu Toy and Customs by Matchu, not the same person, but their birthdays are 2 days apart, so it's really weird. But anyway, so Customs.
And we're both on Wednesdays.
You're both on Wednesdays. Really confusing. But he's taking some time off, so maybe from his show. Maybe we hit him up. Maybe we get a Pink Ranger done before New York Comic Con. But look at that. Okay, so we talked Power Rangers. You have, outside of the Unworthy production that's coming out, you have your own piece that's coming up too, called Bishop.
Actually, it did come out already. Basically, when training with all of these wonderful creators that I've worked with ever since, I want to say summer, it must have been summer 2021, and I trained from summer 2021 to summer 2022, and then since then I've had to take on a second job, so I haven't been able to train quite as much, but between 21 and 22, we were encouraged by our stunt and fight choreography group to write original scripts and put together stuff for what you call your stunt reel, which is pretty much your resume as a stunt and fight person. And so I said, I got it. I have a folder of all of these scripts, and all I needed was help with fight choreography. So my coach, who is actually the Red Ranger in Unworthy, Eric Fuchs, he put together a crew. He put together multiple cameramen, and we had a guest choreographer, Manny Ayala, who is a famous stuntman in the community, stopped through and helped with the choreography. And basically we came up with the concept of, what if Kate Bishop got captured and there was a longer action sequence? So she gets captured by the tracksuit mafia, and she has to really fight practically to the death to get out of the grips of the tracksuit mafia. And we created it in the training facility that we were in Newark, New Jersey. And I'm so proud of the work. I got to put it, we all just kind of on a shoestring budget put it together, filmed it, and it got edited and sent over. And so I have it on my YouTube. It's not something where, I'm trying to make it into this huge thing, but it's a huge part of my stunt reels and showing the world what I have been training to do. So I think I sent over a video that has a few of the highlights of the stunt and fight choreography.
You got me. You sent me a clip. I'm going to try to do this, but bear with me as it might get screwy. But let's see if this works like this.
There it is.
Hey, I did it.
That was awesome.
I did it. So
how many hours? And it gets reduced to 25 seconds. But it's not the full thing. That's just my favorite parts.
Wow. So the one guy there took a taco, and it didn't look like there was a mat there. How much did that hurt?
He's got the pads on. He's got he's got some very nice, nicely constructed pads on. But that's my coach, Eric Fuchs. He's already on TV shows, on the TV show Power. He's an amazing stuntman. So yeah, he knows his stuff. He also takes a huge stair fall at the end, and that's not easy.
That always gets me. Like, how do they fall down the stairs like safely? You know, I would like to know, because there's so many times that I've fallen down the stairs, probably because I've been drinking a little too much.
One step, and you just
yeah.
Well, so a lot of times the steps are set design, so they are actually made with foam. So you'll have that, and then there'll be replicas of, maybe a set that is just true stairs. So the stunt person will do a fall on the foam stairs, maybe make it a little more brutal, and then they'll get a few shots of a less brutal fall to kind of cut in with the original set. But I mean, it wasn't always that safe. They didn't always have those safeguards. It used to just be, if he dies, he dies. It was bad.
Hong Kong stunts, like the Hong Kong movie stunts, like from the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. It was brutal, but now there's a lot more safeguards and a lot more possibility to create things that are safer for the actors.
So Archie says, Matchu, that means you got to wear pads and armor every day.
Mm-hmm.
Foam stairs, what can't high school creations do? Dario, how'd you fall downstairs free?
No, I'm paying for it the next day.
Yeah, well, that's true. You are paying for it. Fake stairs. Yeah, and that, like, giving away secrets here. I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought fake stairs
outside and make them just all foam stairs for when, like when it gets we don't have to worry about it now, but when it's icy outside, you're leaving the house.
Just make it look really epic that I fell down instead of just falling, because I've definitely just walked down my driveway and broken a tailbone.
And then you can just show the ring footage to your boss, and that's how you get out of work that day.
That's how I get out of work for that week.
I never thought about that. I've never thought to do that. Why haven't I done that before?
Hey, this is an education show. Yeah. So I'm sure you've seen it. Have you seen the clip of the guy going down the escalator from the new John Wick movie? Have you seen that one?
I've seen all of the trailers. I mean, all of that, all of that looks. I mean, that's 8711. That is the cream of the crop stunt action performers. Mm-hmm. I think in the world. Well, besides a lot of the Hong Kong community.
Right. But yeah, that guy, it looks like he took like 3 or 4 takes there, and it's just like, oh God.
Well, one of the most famous stunt actor, I guess most recognizable stunt actors, because the whole point of being a stunt actor is that you're not recognizable, that you blend in with your actor. Scott Adkins, he is one of the villains in John Wick, and that's a huge win for the stunt community to see them be full-on primary characters in a film.
So there's the stunt performer, right, and then there's the stunt actor. So there's 2 different roles. See, I paid attention when I went to the Disney World Indiana Jones stunt show 97 times, because they talk about that.
It's awesome.
full disclosure, used to work down there, and I was right next to it, so I would like hang out with those guys all the time. They were great. But yeah, so that I've always known is the difference between the actor and the performer, and I feel like when you get to kind of fill in to be that actor role, like that feels like you kind of just said it too, like that's a step up, like that's like, wow, I get to do this, you know what I mean, type of thing. You get to be on screen, and it's not just like, hey, if you look really closely, you could tell that his ear's different, and that's me, you know, kind of thing.
Well, there is something, I would say, I don't know. I would say as someone who,
Ray Park.
Yeah. And then who am I thinking? I think there's another actor that was in the previous John Wick film who's also both. But it's hard to cross that line. There's something about being a working actor that never has to worry about fame and celebrity. You're always working. You're never in the limelight. You just have to show up and do a great job, and you have a wonderful relationship with everybody, that I think is far more attractive than trying to be a famous person. I know a lot of people get caught up in numbers and fame and celebrity, being online. Even social media stars are now celebrities, you know. But I think being behind the curtain, behind the scenes, is far more rewarding and feels like it has a longer shelf life.
Longevity.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been the thing too with television, right? Like now television, it's more take a television job, right? It's more consistent, you know, things along those lines. And
if you can be a stunt actor on a television show, I think that's always been very profitable.
What was she was on Supergirl a lot, and then she did American Ninja Warrior. What was her name? Your face lit up, so you know who I'm talking about.
I was thinking of somebody else. Go ahead.
No, so I can't remember her name, but she like did Jessica Graff. That's it, Jessica Graff. Yeah, I think that's it. So, but I was thinking like she was a stunt actor. Yeah, she was a stunt actor, but then she got like famous from being on American Ninja Warrior, and then she got moved into more of those like face roles, and things.
Yeah, I mean,
Griffith. Yeah.
I say more power to the people who make it to that level. I'm someone for someone being on one side of the camera a lot. I would have to say I would rather be behind the scenes. You know, I liked being crew in theater. I was the makeup artist. I was in set design. I would prefer to be behind rather than in front of. It took a very long time before I was very comfortable with having my picture taken at all. There aren't a lot of pictures of me before cosplay because I was so insecure and so upset at being any type of center of attention that I would shy away from it all the time. So more power to the people who are comfortable on that side.
Yeah. I know Matt, you highlighted Mike Heck's quote. We'll make a shameless plug at this point, right? Not a new show. We've been doing it for a while, but Babs is on for the first time tonight. You know, this because we're so bad at doing this. If you haven't, hit the like and subscribe button so you can come back and join us for other episodes, and go back and watch all the old ones. Don't tell me about it, but just go watch it so that we can get the YouTube credit for it there too. There was something else I wanted to ask you about just the work. Just because I'm abusing friendship at this point, Yanni had shown me clips of and I think you were there for this, the Dark Avenger stuff that you guys filmed during the pandemic.
Yes.
Has anything come out of that? That was amazing. Like just like being able to be in Times Square with no one around, you know, like unbelievable.
Yeah, that was really cool. I was really glad to. I knew of Yanni's work, but I had never met Yanni just because of the pandemic. I think I had gotten introduced to the whole Unworthy productions around late 2019, early 2020.
Yeah.
So I had seen Yanni's work, but I hadn't been able to meet him yet. So then I see him. He says, "I'm Yanni," and I hadn't made the connection. And he's like, "Of Unworthy," and then the handle came up in my brain. I went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
He happened to be acquainted with a New York cosplayer that I started working with when I first started, like seriously in 2018. Cosplay Nay, he was working with him. I think it was always a dream project of these two cosplayers. Call me Cap Brooklyn Kid, who did a lot of he really loves Stealth Cap, which is, I was looking at your shield in the back. So he does a lot of Captain America, and Nay obviously does a lot of Spidey. And they always wanted to do the Hydra Dark Avengers. But had never gotten the chance. And so as soon as it was okay to be meeting in small groups, we put together this crew of really delightful people who brought their A game to bring these Dark Avengers together. I think I saw, is it? It's over here. My Hydra pin.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That looks really good.
But yeah, no, I think that was just that's the level of intensity that the New York people bring. They want to be, if not absolute like movie replicas, they want to inspire a movie to come from it.
Right. That's
exactly
awesome.
what they did.
Yeah, and the work that he showed me, and again, I don't know if it's out there yet, but like when it does come out, it was to your point, the gritty, the moody, like that was there. Also, apparently, I cannot read. Mike said new show behind Two Sentinels. Thank you, D. Blakes, for clarifying. He's saying a BTS show called Behind Two Sentinels, like showing all the production stuff.
Wait, what did you think why do you think I highlighted?
I thought Mike was saying this was a new show for Babs, and that he was saying Between Two Sentinels. So again, it just goes to the point that I can't read. But
do you want these?
I might need them. I might need them.
Zing, zing.
So I might need them. I just checked my glasses case, Matt, to see if we could do the handoff. But yeah. And Mike also says the only cosplay I do is Brothor. Which same Mike, same. So,
that's a great cosplay.
So you can't beat it. It's very comfortable, very comfortable. What does it say? I think to be authentic. So okay, so we talked about katsukan. New York Comic Con, are you going back this year?
Yes. So actually that brings up a question I had earlier when you were saying you go all 4 days, or you maybe take a break or something like that on one of the days. Ever since the first time I went to New York Comic Con, I was like, this is so overwhelming. I need 3 breaks, throughout the day. I mean, I need to go and sit down. Like, I've always wanted to take a break and just go to a gaming cafe and sit down and play some board games, have a protein-infused meal, drink lots of water, go to the bathroom, relax for a little bit, get my energy back. Because I feel like you have an adrenaline rush and you have an adrenaline crash. And you can end up completely devastated, like I was saying, devastated by the end of the con if you don't take regular breaks.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And like,
how do you do it all 4 days?
Well, we don't go all 4 days. I ended up going all 4 days, but that wasn't the plan. I mean, the plan. I mean, when do we actually go according to plan, right? But like,
make the plan, memorize the plan, throw the plan out the window. Yeah.
Right. Thursday is the worst because it's like we're buying all the exclusive stuff or whatever, and like my sister's there that we're also carrying her stuff. And, she's not watching right now, but I'll probably hear back on the replay. But like, yes, we do. You do need to schedule breaks, and you also don't want to do it when everybody else is like, maybe we need a break and have to get food because everybody thinks the same, Yeah. And then that line forms, and you don't want that. But like, if you go with enough people, or like if people are gonna be there, you can kind of like set up like a little set. Like there was that one year we went and we detour and Action Figure Neverland, and luckily they just finished eating, so we grabbed they gave us their table.
Yes, we stole their table really for them. So, Art G says New York Comic Con is nuts, and he also says he worked all 4 days. What what were you doing, G? We're gonna talk about that more.
Oh, yeah.
But I always find like you went on Saturday. So predominant, I would say though that like Thursday's the day we stay the longest. Friday was kind of like half a day for us, but Sunday is the day, like doing Comic-Con with 2 kids. That's the stressful part. Because they're cranky, I'm cranky.
Yeah.
You know, I need a bottle. They need chicken nuggets. It's, you know, but they, you know, and honestly, like
it's a lot of walking too.
It's a lot of walking, but you know, like the adrenaline kicks in because you're right. You do have the adrenaline crash, but I mean, Thursday when we went this year, like getting to meet everybody, and you know, it felt like it was the first like real con back from the, you know, from the pandemic. So you ride that adrenaline for a little while and you go, but yeah, I think again, the worst part was bring a Pop-Tart and then stop skipping. Skip stopping to eat. That's like,
well, that's why cosplays with the pockets are, so you put some trail mix over here, some beef jerky over here, snacks. Some, you know, like Gatorade, what are those little pouches like that? Yeah,
that's perfect. Anything else you want to chat about? You want to talk, you want to bring up? I know we've kept you longer than promised, so I don't want to be respectful of that for sure.
So your original question was, am I going back to New York Comic Con this year?
Sorry, we got distracted. Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm just as much a part of that problem, and I'm happy to be a part of the problem. I do like going up to New York. So basically, I wonder if other cosplayers have a or like maybe like the internationally famous cosplayers have like a super glamorous time going to cons, because my experience going to cons, especially to New York Comic Con. So my partner lives in Brooklyn, and so what I do is I get my crate full of all my supplies, from just in case sewing, just in case makeup, just in case this, just in case that, and all my cosplays. And I pack my car up and I go up to Brooklyn, circle around the block for a full hour before I can find parking, and you know, sleep in not my bed, you know, like on a pull out. So I'm like this the next day, just trying to stretch and feel good, have a good breakfast, get hydrated, pee as much as possible beforehand, and get into my cosplay and make sure I don't forget a single thing, because if I'm not going back to Brooklyn if I forget anything. And I inevitably did. I did Shang-Chi one year, and I put on 8 rings, not 10 rings on my arm. And so a little boy came up and said, "Why do you have 8 rings?" And it was only then that I realized I forgot the 2 other rings at home. So I don't have a very glamorous time when it comes to New York Comic Con. I have to really want to go. Not getting a hotel, an overpriced hotel, you know, 30-minute walk away from the Javits Center. So if the price is okay, if it's not exorbitantly overpriced tickets, and if I have the wherewithal to want to go to New York Comic Con, I will. I have this feeling, I feel like I saw a lot of people getting upset at the prices, and they call it line con at New York Comic Con and Anime NYC, where you're in line for most of the day.
Yeah, the lines were bad. Yeah.
Right? So I know a lot of people are upset with those cons at the Javits Center. God willing, if everything goes to plan, then yes, I'll be there. But half of the time, I know this kind of stinks, I would rather be outside. So a lot of people end up outside in that tunnel area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or
where the food trucks are.
Venturing out over even beyond those food trucks into the regular New York food trucks, going out to the Hive or out to the Hudson Yards to take photographs. You're sitting there, I'm like, why would I pay hundreds of dollars for a ticket when eventually I'm just going to end up in Hudson Yards anyway?
That's true.
And if I don't have the budget to be buying a whole bunch of figurines or a bunch of cool artwork or merch, then I'm kind of wasting my time in the Javits Center, unless I'm, you know, supposed to meet up with people who I don't get to meet up with for the rest of the year.
That's
So
a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point. I do.
It's hard to wrestle with that.
Yeah, and the prices just seem to be going up and up and up. And I do think that like I know that usually, because I remember this from a couple of years back, like Saturday is usually the big cosplay. Like Saturday and Sunday are usually the day the most cosplayers go. But you're right, they just hang out outside, and you're right. Like if you're not going to go in there and talk to people, it's a lot. Looks like a question came in from Jordan. I think we'll do this. As a cosplayer and someone who does martial arts, do you think superheroes could actually exist one day?
Okay, that's a fantastic question. So
and one will say for next week. No, I'm kidding. And
then it glitches and we go out. I think superheroes, there's been so many movies and TV shows like this. I think superheroes would not be well received in real life. How many times do you watch a movie and you're like, they just killed, dead. Everyone's dead in that building. Or like, oh my gosh, they just did so much damage to the city. That would be a lawsuit. Easy.
Man of Steel.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes. Or even Spider-Man with all the, flippy webs everywhere.
But they dissolve. They dissolve after like an hour or two.
Yeah, but still, somebody would get it like on their face and do have a lawsuit, right?
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The residue. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm allergic.
Yeah. They're just, or just, I saw some minor violence and I had to go to therapy, which is completely valid. And then these superheroes would not, there'd be Sokovia Accords and things like that.
Yeah.
I think the closest that we have are first responders, which is why I have so much respect for first responders. It's not glamorous. You don't have cute little spandex suits. You have Kevlar and you have, jumpsuits. But I will say, if there were like some type of secret in the shadows, Hell's Kitchen, The Hand, if there was something that was more ninja force like, I could only dream to be able to do something like that. But it would have to be something so secretive, because I don't think superheroes could exist in the public eye.
It's a fair point. And Toyatic, I don't know if he was being serious, but he brings up a valid point too. If they're superheroes, we're also leaving ourselves open to, other things.
The kaiju.
The kaiju, which Pacific Rim tackled pretty well in making it feel real. So, but awesome. I do want to take a second to acknowledge everybody who's in the chat with us and who watched live and who's watching on replay. Thank you guys so much. We're on episode 17, and who the hell thought we would be here at this point? So it's all your fault that we keep going. D Blake says, Babs could be a grown-up hit girl.
That was such a, I loved it. Was Kick-Ass, right? Hit Girls.
Yes,
Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
That was, and honestly, Chloe Moretz is
she's great.
A very underrated, well-versed action actor.
Yeah. I don't would you say she's underrated? I think like every time, I would say everything she's been in is amazing.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I have a
feeling.
I think she got blacklisted or something, because that young woman has such a great resume, and she's not, well, maybe she might be doing the thing that I'm saying, trying to stay out of the limelight.
Yeah,
could be that.
Producing. So, and I do want to show support too for our partner shows that share our support for us. So we got our calendar that we go through. Monday we've got Boba Squadron, Toy Talk, the Figure Booth, and Legion's Lounge. On Tuesday, Chat Meagles Assemble. My tongue got in front of my eye tooth. I couldn't see what I was saying. Chat Meagles Assemble and Unparalleled Universe. ACBA on Wednesdays. Right after us, or probably started now, right, is TPC and the Toy Daddies. Customs by Matchu's on a bit of a break, but they are usually on as well. We've got Fallen Fett Chronicles. Thursday, Toying Around and Unboxing Thursdays, They're Not Dolls and Sir Dork. Friday, we've got Unparalleled Universe, Affinity Equation. And then Sunday, you've got Evo Reviews Everything, Lazy Boy Sundays, and the Infinity Creators Monthly. I think I forgot somebody in there, Matt. I think there's another ACBA day, right? Friday on ACB. So you got Unparalleled, Infinity, and ACBA. Babs, thank you so much for being here. It was amazing.
Was it fun?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And we'll definitely reach out about ToyCon. I got a couple more quotes here. Cam says, "Thanks for inviting Babs on. She's such a great human." Wholeheartedly agree. Agree.
Cam got me this amazing book by Sam Maggs. I'm 3 chapters in. Cam is fantastic. He's actually a fantastic creator of. He's a gaming creator, and he's got a great page as well.
Yeah, we'll be sure to check out Cam then. You got it. Okay, don't forget Dan who reviews on Thursdays. There you go, Dan. Jordan, thank you so much. Awesome catalog of interviews thus far. Hashtag Between Two Sentinels. I think we're gonna start the old B2S hashtag because Between Two Sentinels is longer and longer. But yeah.
But I feel like it's used for other things.
B2S, the number 2. I know the BTS is I think a pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
K-pop group. So K-pop group. So, but we could be K-pop too. I got pipes.
You have moves?
We'll go from there. Definitely not. No.
No, just the CrossFit moves. Just the pro wrestling moves.
And even those are suffering right now. So, Tenyo did jump on. She said she's gonna catch the replay. Oh, Cam fixed it for us. Hashtag B2 cents.
B2 cents.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. A lot, and don't forget, we're gonna end the show with hashtag Winnie the Poohing it, and we'll go from there. But
you waited for that?
No, it just popped up. It just came in.
Oh my God.
9:40. It just came in. Babs, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for taking time with us. Clark Kent, Matchu, do you wanna take us out?
Sure.